Samsung has taken steps in the past to control leaks, but that hasn't halted the flow of information this year. The S25 lineup barely has any surprises left considering all the material we've seen emerge over the previous several months. But today we have mostly clear renders of the S25 Plus and S25 Ultra. Tipster Evan Blass released the renders on X, and the photographs reveal the variations in design between the flagship models. The Galaxy S25 Plus has corners with a more defined curve, while the Galaxy S25 Ultra has more angular corners. These renders tie up with the most recent leaks, adding even more evidence that this is, in fact, the final design of the two phones. The primary difference between the two is in the corners. Otherwise, both use the same hole-punch front camera. Unfortunately, discovery occurred at the expense of someone's job. According to Max Jambo, Samsung has fired a staff member over the disclosures. The person failed to disguise the identification number on one of the devices in the photographs, allowing Samsung to trace the leak to its source. We're just over a month away from the expected Galaxy Unpacked date of January 22. Expect the Galaxy S25, Galaxy S25 Plus, and Galaxy S25 Ultra to all be introduced at the event. The anticipated Galaxy S25 Slim isn't expected to make its appearance until later in the year, presumably around summer. At this moment, enough early pictures have surfaced that we have a pretty complete view of the Galaxy S25. We know what colors to expect, what specs to watch for, and even what accessories might be on the way, but that doesn't mean there won't still be a surprise or two at the Unpacked event. In our continuous mission to record the introduction of the S25, we reported yesterday about how it might end up being more expensive than the previous generation. However, now we're seeing new material that implies the scenario is far from that straightforward. Instead, many areas throughout the world could have varying costs. However, it looks like the base S25 and the S25 Plus will stay the same price as its immediate predecessors, at least in European countries. The base S25 will start at €899 for the 128 gigs model and €959 for the 256 gigs model, according to WinFuture. The Galaxy S25 Plus will start at €1,149 for the 256 gigs variant and go to €1,269 for the 512 gigs version. That's the same as the last generation, so no price jumps there. That might not be the case internationally though. South Korea effectively confirmed a price rise in yesterday's report, and given the rapidly changing nature of exchange rates, anticipated regional pricing could fluctuate dependent on what the market looks like at the time of introduction. As for what the price will be in the Western market, we can only estimate. Samsung doesn't have any production facilities in the US and mostly assembles its gadgets in Vietnam and India. If President-elect Donald Trump adopts his planned tariffs, it might result in a considerably higher price in the US. This is merely supposition. However, so take it with some skepticism. Blass is one of the best leakers in the smartphone game, so that, coupled with how authentic the poster looks and that we've heard January 22 as a possible date several times previously, leaves us in little doubt that this will be the S25 release date, but the image on the poster is interesting. Some have hypothesized that the X might be a reference to Bixby, Samsung's digital assistant, which rumors suggest could undergo a substantial AI makeover on the S25. That's definitely plausible, but the seeming presence of 4 phones there could hint at the debut of 4 devices. We're expecting the S25, the Plus, and the Ultra, but what the 4th might be is less obvious. If there is a 4th, the most likely choices would either be the Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim, which has been extensively speculated but isn't expected to launch before April, or the S25 FE, which we haven't heard much about yet, and which likewise isn't anticipated to land until after January. So neither of those seem extremely likely, but we can't think what else it would be. Perhaps Samsung will at least tease one of these handsets, or perhaps we're just reading too much into the image. In any event, that's not today's only Samsung Galaxy S25 leak, as we've also seen leaked photographs apparently showing the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus. The photographs, released by leaker Jukanos Reeve, show the phone from the front, back, and one side, giving us an excellent look at it. But it doesn't appear much different than the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. The rings around the camera lenses are a darker color here, but otherwise this looks much like its predecessor, complete with 3 lenses on the back, a flat screen and curved corners. Oh, and that piece on the edge that looks a little like Apple's camera control button is reportedly simply a mmWave antenna for collecting 5G signals. Samsung has been heavily tipped and rumored at this time, so we have a solid understanding of what the primary features of these phones will be. By features, we refer here to the significant changes and new stuff relating to the S24 series. Thus, in other words, the primary aspects that might make you consider buying a Samsung Galaxy S25 over a Galaxy S24. You'll find all of these claimed features and upgrades below, and remember that we're looking at the complete Samsung Galaxy S25 series here. So the Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus and Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, as well as the base model. One fascinating innovation that has only lately got tipped is the likely availability of a MagSafe-like mechanism on the Samsung Galaxy S25 range, though exactly how it will operate is questionable. One report indicated the Samsung Galaxy S25 series would all have QE2 wireless charging, which is a very similar tech to MagSafe, with magnets in the phone that let you magnetically attach wireless chargers and accessories, such as battery packs and tripods. However, another suggested that instead Samsung would simply sell some magnetic cases, which you could then connect magnetic accessories to. We're inclined to assume that both of these claims are probably accurate, that the phones will enable QE2 charging, but also that Samsung might sell a range of magnetic cases, presumably so that you can still firmly attach magnetic peripherals when there's a case on the phone. Several sources have stated that the S25 Ultra could sport a new ultra camera, with the S24 Ultra's very modest 12 megapixels ultra-wide being replaced with a more pixel-packed 50 megapixel sensor. This should allow for more detailed photographs, and will hopefully lead to an overall quality upgrade, putting ultra-wide shots more in line with photos taken with the main camera. However, this update is apparently limited for the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, with the other versions presumably staying with the same cameras as their predecessors. Not a feature as such, but the largest new thing in the S25 series might be an entirely new model, which for now we're describing smartphone as the Samsung Galaxy S25 Slim. This, as that name suggests, might be a considerably thinner alternative to the other Galaxy S25 models, and we've heard that the Galaxy S25 Slim could potentially boast an ultra-level camera. However, to keep it compact, there may be trade-offs elsewhere, such as in the number of lenses or the size of the battery. Going by reports, it's looking quite likely that both the regular Samsung Galaxy S25 and the Ultra will feature more RAM than its predecessors. The former could launch with 12 gigs, up from 8 gigs in the Samsung Galaxy S24, while the latter with up to 16 gigs, up from 12 gigs in the S24 Ultra. However, one rumor says that the Galaxy S25 Ultra's basic configuration will still have 12 gigs of RAM, with only higher storage models getting 16 gigs. In any event, a jump in RAM could be desired, especially for AI activities, which can be quite dependent on RAM. Notably though, there's no hint of the S25 Plus being up from the 12 gigs of its predecessor. Finally, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra particularly might have a bigger screen than its predecessor, with reports saying it could have a 6.86-inch display, which would presumably be sold as 6.9 inches. That's up significantly from 6.8 inches on the Samsung S24 Ultra. So this definitely won't make a significant impact, but it will bring the phone more in line with the 6.9-inch iPhone 16 Pro Max. However, the Samsung Galaxy S25 and Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus will undoubtedly feature the same screen sizes as its predecessors, at 6.2 inches and 6.7 inches respectively. So we think the Samsung Galaxy S25 will cost at least that much, but there's a good chance it will cost more, as most speculations claim it will include a Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, and that itself apparently costs more than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 used by some Galaxy S24 variants. Qualcomm said ahead of its introduction that the pricing would presumably be higher, and leakers have variously said that the Snapdragon 8 Elite might cost around $40 more than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, or that it would cost nearly 20% more than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. On the other hand, there is still some optimism that the price won't climb, as another source suggests that in Scandinavia the Galaxy S25 series will cost the same as the Galaxy S24 line, which might mean costs will stay the same elsewhere also if this is genuine. For now, we can't accurately anticipate exactly what the Samsung S25 will cost, so take the figures above with a pinch of salt, but we think it's probable it will cost at least slightly more than its predecessor. That's a lot of money then, but with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra's chipset probably costing roughly $40 more than its predecessors, as described above, the price of the phone might climb proportionately. In that situation, the S25 Ultra may start at roughly $1,340. As with the other S25 models, we're not confident of that exact price, and it could cost even more, since another leak puts the price rise at more like $105, or it could stay at the same price as the Galaxy S24 Ultra going by yet another leak, but we do think it's likely the phone will cost at least slightly more than its predecessor. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.